Hello and welcome all my dear third standard little gems. Welcome once again in the science lecture. This is Rohan sir welcoming all my dear third standard students in the science lecture. In the previous science lecture, students, I hope that you enjoyed the revision as we have started revision after the completion of our last chapter, chapter 14. I hope that you are utilizing the revision lectures properly. You know that in the revision lecture, which we have just started in the previous lecture, we are not only understanding or revising the topics which were in your textbook, but also extra material is brought in whichever needed topics. I am displaying it on the screen so that you can get the extra knowledge of few things which are necessary and are the part of the same chapter. So, my dear students, I hope once again you are ready. Now, as in the previous lecture, you had written nothing. I asked you to sit without taking anything, just you had to pay attention, your concentration. But now, in this lecture, you will need your rough book. Yes, because we're going to solve few objectives. So that is what the agenda is for today. Revision, which we will complete for the explanation part, left out part. We will discuss that part and the topics. Then we will start solving objectives, not only for the textbook objectives, but also extra material objectives, which will be, yes, almost same as in the textbook. It is. So please be ready with your rough book, pencil, and the needed stationery stuff. I hope that you are ready. Here, you don't have to write the question again. Yes, the extra material which I will display here, I will send the PDF file for the same. Please make sure you will not get the time to write the questions. So, accordingly, you have to write the answers. You will get the time to think about the answers as you always get in all the lectures. So I hope by now you are ready. So let us display the material which we were discussing in the previous lecture. So here is that material which we were discussing in the previous lecture. And lastly, we completed the topic how air affects the weather, how water affects the weather in the different ways. We understood that. We even saw one keyword which many of you might not be knowing the meaning of weather forecasting. So this is what we did, and now you know that how water air affects the seasons, how it affects the weathers. Now let us understand the last topic, climate and seasons from the extra material. Then we will move on towards the textbook as you can see on the back side of the material. Climate and seasons. Climate. Climate is the average weather of a particular region over a time period. Weather describes the short-term state of the atmosphere. It is what is happening today or this week. Climate describes the long-term state of atmosphere. So this is the difference between climate and weather. I hope that you now know what is climate and what is weather. Climate is the average weather of the particular region. So it is the measurement and conclusion made from the long-term observation, whereas weather describes very short-term state of atmosphere. This is what the difference is. So this was what I wanted to give you from the extra material. Now let us discuss lastly the last part of the textbook which is not covered fully from the extra material, seasons. Now, every few months the weather changes. This changes gives rise to the different seasons. You know that Earth rotates on its axis and revolves around the sun. This makes day and night also the change in weather changes in seasons. So every few months the season changes, right? And there are 5 seasons basically in India. In the other countries, there might be 4 seasons. But in India, we have 5 seasons, namely summer, monsoon, autumn, winter, and spring. So these are the five seasons we can observe in our country, India. And every season, with the change of every season, our weather, our climate changes. Summer, it is the hottest time of the year, and winter is the coldest. You know that just winter season was there before a month. It was really very cold. Like if you had to go out, you had to cover your eyes, your nose, your ears, which you are, yes, covering because of this pandemic, but you need to cover your hands and fingers, everything. So it rains during monsoon. So what happens in the monsoon? It rains in the monsoon. That is, many of you might be knowing as the rainy season. The weather is neither hot nor cold in autumn. Often cool wind blows during autumn. Many trees shed down their leaves in the autumn season. So this is what happens, and these are the changes you can observe in the different seasons. Different changes are there. After autumn comes winter. It is the coldest season of the year. We wear woolen clothes to keep ourselves warm in the winter. This is what you know. After winter comes the spring season. Now, many of you are still confused in the autumn and spring season. Yes, this is what I know. Many students are asking me again and again. We are confused between autumn and spring. So, you need to remember that the weather is very pleasant or pleasant in spring season. The trees start getting new leaves and flowers. So, in spring season, like a spring, flowers and leaves comes out, blossoms, and in the autumn season it sheds down the leaves. So this is what the difference is. In the autumn trees are empty, in the spring again it blossoms, it blooms up. So changes in the season affects the kind of the clothes we wear, the kind of even the food we eat, and also the activity we do. This is also, I have explained you very well, that in the summer season you can't wear woolen clothes, you're going to die because of this perspiration. You wear light cotton clothes, light colored. Even we change eating the food. We can't eat, the food which really affects a lot in our body during the summer and winter. There are even changes in the fruits season wise, and even the activities. Like in the summer season, we don't go out during the afternoon time to play, nor do we go during the night time. It's like we really feel very hot. Some of you might be using air conditioner. So activities even changes with the summer. You get summer vacation in the schools. So activities changes, clothes changes, eating habit, everything changes because of the seasons. So I hope that this concept is clear. Now, first of all, we're going to solve the objectives from the extra material, and then we will move towards the objectives from the textbook. So first of all, students, I'd like to introduce few glossaries which are important and are related to this chapter. What do you have to do? You have to do nothing. You have to just repeat these two times with me, because these vocabularies you should remember. Now in the third standard, you should know the meaning of each of these words. This is what we are going to practice it right now. So for a minute, keep your books and pencils down. Just look at the screen and try to repeat line by line, word after the word with me loudly and clearly, as you do when you are sitting in the classroom. I hope you are ready now. So first is atmosphere. I hope that you are repeating with me. Atmosphere. The blanket of air or gases surrounding the earth. Please repeat it loudly and clearly. The blanket of air or gases surrounding the earth. Were you repeating? Okay. Next is climate. Please repeat it as well. The average weather of a particular region over a time period. See, each word means like it has a very detailed meaning. So please repeat it clearly. The average weather of a particular region over a time period. Next is condensation. When water vapor in the air gets cooled down and changes back into liquid. See, very easy it is. Please repeat it one more time. When water vapor in the air gets cooled down and changes back into liquid. The next one, evaporation. Change of water into water vapor on heating. Repeat it clearly, loudly. Evaporation. Change of water into water vapor on heating. Next is humidity. This might be the new word for you. We have done it once in the previous lecture, but still you might not be able to remember it. So please repeat it loudly and clearly. Humidity, the amount of water vapor in air. The amount of water vapor in air. Precipitation. Yes, I know this is a bit tongue twister. You might not be able to speak this, but you will have to try it. Precipitation. Precipitation. When clouds get very heavy and water falls back to the earth in the form of rain or snow. See how easy it is. It might look very lengthy, but it's very easy to remember. Trust me. Again, repeat it. When clouds get very heavy and water falls back to the earth in the form of rain or snow. The second last word, water cycle. Now you know that it is not a kind of cycle like a hero cycle. Let us see the process through which water moves all around the earth. Yes, please repeat it. The process through which water moves all around the earth. Weather, the condition of the atmosphere at a particular time. The condition of the atmosphere at a particular time. Okay, so this was the revision. Now let us solve this diagram, which was very interesting. Let us solve it one by one. First of all, you know that what is this? This is a sea, right? So let us label it. Okay. Now I'll give you time one by one. What is this? What this arrow indicates? You know, I have taught you in the previous lecture itself, a well labeled diagram was there in the extra material I shared on the screen. So what is this? What does this indicates? Your time starts now. Try to think it, try to recollect what was that. 5, 4, 3, 2, 1, and 0. So what was that? It is nothing but evaporation. See, very easy. It should be a bit shorter to fit here. Evaporation. Okay. Then what is this? You will say, sir, it is sun. you don't have to just write it is sun. What do you have to write? You have to write it is sun's heat. Why do we have to write that? Because of only sun's heat, evaporation will take place, right? Okay. Now what is this? You will say these are the clouds, but what process takes place here if these are the clouds? Yes, again, when it forms the cloud, why and how the clouds are formed? By which process? So your time starts now. Think about it. 5, 4, 3, 2, 1, and 0. Okay, by the process of condensation, right? So condensation should be answer. It will not fit in this box, but when you will write it, it will exactly fix in the box with the hand. And this is the last thing. What is this? When the water comes down in the form of rain or snow. Just now we saw in the keywords when we were just revising few definitions. Yes, try to think about it. Your time starts now. I already gave you the hint. 5, 4, 3, 2, 1, and 0. So what is this? This is precipitation. So let us write it here. See, labeling you can do once you get the PDF, you can take the printout and you will get the same page as I have displayed on the screen. Or try to draw this and you can send me the project work. You can send me the photos of your drawing, whatever you want to send. You can do it. You can give the heading that this is the water cycle or water cycle project. It is not compulsory, but those who are interested can do this. And obviously, those who are watching these lectures will only know this. So try to make this, or you can take the printout once you get the PDF. Now is the time to solve few objectives. So here are some objectives. First, this question is give one word answer as you were doing in your textbook. So let us solve this. Let us understand these are a bit different from what we were solving from the textbook. Let's have a look. Question A. Water vapor in the air gets cooled down and changes back into liquid, forming clouds. So what is that? When the water vapor in the air gets cooled down and changes back into liquid, forming clouds. So what is that process called? What is it being referred to? How is it referred? So I hope you are writing the answers. What is that called? You just now have labeled this diagram. So when the water vapor in the air gets cooled down and changes back into the liquid, forming the clouds, what is that process called? So the answer is condensation. That process is called condensation. I hope you tried to find the answer before I wrote it here. Next is the amount of water vapor in the air. The amount of water vapor in the air. So try to find it out. Your time starts now. 5, 4, 3, 2, 1, and 0. So what is the amount of water vapor present in the air called? This is a new term you learned, which is humidity. Yes, that is why we revised the keywords first and then we started solving this. So at least you will get an idea what have we learned. Question C. The process through which water moves all around the earth. Now, this is the easiest question, I should say, from the fill in the blanks questions. What should be the answer? Try to solve it. 5, 4, 3, 2, 1, and 0. So, the process through which water moves all around the earth. This is the answer. What is this? Yes, exactly. This is the water cycle. Let us write the answer. Those who have not written, I hope that they are writing the answer. Next question, question D. The average weather of a particular region over a time period. So, what is that over a time period? Mean for the long time. Now I give you the hint. Try to solve it. Your time starts now. 5, 4, 3, 2, 1, and 0. So, what answer have you written? Climate or weather? So, let me write the answer and then you can check your answer. The answer is climate. So, for the long term, remember climate. For the short term, if you are referring to that, is weather. Next question. When water falls back to the earth as precipitation, it may fall back in the water bodies. So, in what kind of water bodies can it just store the water again? So, try to find out the answer. Try to write the correct answer. Your time starts now. 5, 4, 3, 2, 1, and 0. So when the water falls back to the earth as precipitation, it may fall back in the water bodies like sea. Let us see the last question. The sun heats up water in the water bodies such as rivers, lakes, and oceans, turning the water into water vapor or steam. So what is that process called when the sun heats up waters in the water bodies and it turns into the water vapor? So try to find it out. Your time starts now. 5, 4, 3, 2, 1, and 0. So the answer is evaporation. See, everything is either when every answer is from the either from the keywords we have revised now or from the diagram we have labeled now. So please make sure that you have to actively just participate in the lectures and you can get the answers in the lecture itself. It's too easy. Now let us solve the last question for the day from our textbook. Then perhaps in the next lecture also we will continue solving the objectives from the textbook. Question 1, sub question A, fill in the blanks with the correct words where the options are given. So you have to just choose the correct option and write the answer. So I hope that you are ready with your pencils. Let's get started. Question 1. Animals breathe in dash present in the air. Options are carbon dioxide or oxygen. So, what do animals breathe in? I hope that you are trying to find out the answer. So, answer very simple. Answer is oxygen. Number 2, the change of water vapor to water is called dash. Evaporation or condensation. Just quickly select any one. I'll not give you much time because the options are given. And this very well we have done the change of water vapor again to the water. See, while speaking in the different ways, I give you the hint. So what is it called? Evaporation or condensation? Again, when you labeled the diagram, this concept was there. That is why I brought another material for you to practice it, at least in the lecture. So when the vapor again converts to the water, it is not evaporation, it is condensation. I hope that you have chosen the same answer. Next, question 3. In dash places, water drops in the clouds come down as snow. Water is stored up after condensation. So in it comes sometimes it comes in the form of snow, somewhere it comes in the form of water as the rain. So where does the snowfall happens? The cold or in the hot place? It's too easy, right? Even the small children might be knowing this. Obviously it happens in the cold places. Okay. Number 4, the condition of air around us is known as dash, weather or season. Around us. So try to understand it. Weather or season. What is the condition of air called which is around us? Answer is very easy. Weather. The last one we will discuss. Many trees shed their leaves in the dash season. In the autumn season or spring season. Again, this is what I specified just in the beginning of the lecture. So this is what you have to decide, that trees shed their leaves. In autumn and spring, opposite things happens. In one season, the trees shed down their leaves, and in the other season, flowers and trees again grow up, flowers bloom. So I hope that you have written the answer which I'm going to write. It is autumn. So today we had a good discussion over the objectives and few keywords, also diagram, labeling, few new things we have done. I hope that you will revise these topics again and again. With this, I end my today's lecture. Have a nice day. Take care. Goodbye.